I've said it before, I'll say it again. This whole Gypsy Rose turning all the creators against each other so that we don't look in her direction is continuing to happen. It's going to continue to happen. And if you're too thick to see it, let me give you some examples. I stepped away from Fancy for personal reasons. I didn't like the way she treated me. And she tried to blame it on Christy. But I didn't talk to Christy until after the fact. But I will tell you that me talking to Christy, her coming out of the woodwork 2 days after I talked to Fancy, set a lot of things in motion. Natasha got pissed off. So me and Natasha start going at it. And then along the way, we'll start going in with all of the ones that started going after each other. We had me and Natasha and Bree. We had Nina and Bree, and Nina and me. We had April and everybody. We had Theo lurking in the background. We had Gypsy contacting Nina weirdly, even though Nina was very against Gypsy. What would Gypsy have to do to get to start talking to Nina? What was the point? What was the point? She knew she didn't like her, but that started something else. Because for some reason, Gypsy decided to stick her nose into Nina. In the meantime, I'm being breadcrumbed to hell by Christy, who was acting like I was some great friend, while then ignoring me, and then acting like I was a great friend, and then ignoring me. But telling me enough that I was a trusted confidant, and I kept all the secrets, only to have it put against me later. Then Gypsy ends up on Natasha's live, which is weird, because Natasha's supposed to be some enemy to the family, but now Gypsy's showing up there, and we all start going at each other's throats. In the meantime, we have Bree over on the side defending the hell out of Gypsy. And then she starts beefing with Natasha and Nina and April and me. And I, in the meantime, go on a live, and I was actually defending you, Bree. I was actually defending you. Okay? And for whatever reason, you decided to make a really shitty video in my direction, being really condescending and rude. So I make one back, because that's what I'm going to do. And now I go on my FYP, and here you are making another shitty video in my direction. But what I've come to realize is, as long as Gypsy Rose has you in the pocket, there's going to be strife in this community. Because as long as she has you in her pocket, you're going to fight with Natasha and Nina and April and me. And we're going to spend all of our time arguing with you and not going after Gypsy, which is exactly what's wanted. Because if we're fighting with you, we're not pointing it at her. I really thought you were smarter than this. I really did. But if you think that when Gypsy said I lie and I lie without conscience, that she wasn't meaning it, that she lied across the board, that she wasn't lying to you to use you as a pawn to get all of us spun up towards each other, you need to open your eyes. People tried to warn me about Christy and I didn't listen. And then it all got blown up in my face. All of us were fine. Then Gypsy Rose gets out of prison, and we all go at each other's throats. You don't think that that's you don't think that that's something that wouldn't have happened if Gypsy didn't get out of prison? If Gypsy didn't reach out to Nina for no reason? If Gypsy didn't go on Natasha's live for no reason? If Christy Blanchard didn't hit me up and try to become friends with me for some reason? You don't think that none of this would have happened if somehow Gypsy and her family didn't have their hands in every single honeypot and then get us all mad and yelling at each other? So yes, again, in the end, Gypsy Rose is spinning all of us against each other. And it's going to continue because we're all going to take the bait. We're all going to take the bait because we're all going to make videos at each other and we're all going to make them back. And it's going to be just this big spinny wheel of all the creators yelling at each other so we don't go after Gypsy. Enjoy your ratings on your new show. I know you're getting paid by the percentage. And the percentage means the more that show makes, the more that you make. So the more strife you cause, the more people you have spun up, the more people will watch your show. This is all about the money that you can make in your pocket. Just like when you disappeared off social media and you blamed it on getting a PO calling and tried to blame that on Nina, you'd had lots of PO calls. Lots of them. Matter of fact, Christy told me thousands. But suddenly, just that one was the one that tipped the scales, and suddenly you had to get off social media. But here you are, back on social media, just in time for your show. Isn't that weird?